Welcome to the LaunchFamily Podcast, where we bring expert-backed guidance to real parenting moments. I'm your host, Jessica Shelley, former public school teacher, mom of 7, and co-founder of LaunchFamily. If you've ever felt like you're doing all the things, raising kids, building a career or business, holding emotional space for everyone else, and still feeling like something is missing, this episode is for you. Today's guest is Asha Mody, founder of Mindsy Design. Asha is a mindful brand strategist, speaker, and mentor who works with women founders and parents to design businesses and lives that don't run on burnout, guilt, or autopilot. In this conversation, we talk about why work-life balance is a myth, why mindfulness is actually courageous, not soft, and how the way we design our lives and businesses directly shapes the humans we're raising. Asha, I'm so excited to officially welcome you to the Launch Family Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. And I'm so glad to be here. And I have to say, 6 kids and a seventh on the way, you are living proof that presence over perfections is a real thing. It's
Oh
heads
my
up to you. So thank you
Oh,
for creating space.
yeah, no, thank you so much for being here. And I'm so excited to share your wisdom with all of our listeners today. And also, I'm taking notes as we talk. So, before we dive into the tools and mindset, can you give our audience a little bit of context for your journey? So, how did you move from traditional branding and corporate frameworks into the work you do today with conscious founders and parents?
Yeah, sure. It's happened the way real transformation happens through the pain and not the strategy. I grew up in India and I was a bachelor of accountant and got married and came to United States. And I used to teach in India the design software as I used to see my brother doing all the design work. And that time the numbers was not my best friend. It was more creative mind. Then I become a brand designer and I was doing everything right by all the external checklists, what our mind has been conditioned, what our upbringing and the culture we have seen around, and what industry and market and social media have guided our mind to choose certain things, to do certain things that certain way. But I kept watching my client. I was working with Inc. 500 companies and in my corporate life. I was kept watching my client as like having beautiful designs and logo and packaging design, but sometimes it's not bringing the real results to them. And everybody feels stressed out, and sometimes it feels lost and not bringing the results to the client because everybody was on a different page. And that day I realized that I wasn't just designing the brands, I was decorating the confusion because marketing department wants something else, the creative department something else, CEO and founders need something else. And I felt the design work is more deeper than just designing a pretty looking things. It's not bringing the results to the real client and real family. So that's how I learned the strategy, how to find the soul of the brand, who is the person, who are the values, why do they stand, and what is the purpose behind doing all this. So that's how I came and I opened my own studio. From last 6 years. I'm running my Mindsy Design, where I help women entrepreneurs to scale from local to national level without feeling overwhelmed and calm.
Oh my gosh. And you work with so many women who are transitioning out of corporate roles and kind of redefining their identity after becoming parents. So, any
Mhm.
patterns that you've seen over and over again with the clients that you've been working with?
I think the most big pattern I have observed, including me in my early days, I see most often is they have been performing a version of success that was never theirs. It was kind of living the dual identity. What market and everybody externally has showed them, how does the success look like? Like, for example, and then pregnancy and motherhood as a woman, we evolved a lot. Our health, and we are like constantly changing, and it's scared of something like crack it is open, the universe has given us role. For example, suddenly the identity, like as a pregnant mom you are right now, it and I'm mom of two teenagers right now, they grow very fast. It doesn't have the same situation, right? So work doesn't fit anymore to the same situation, working 9 to 5 and grinding culture and going same and same cycle. So, and rather than feeling that is a breakdown, I want them to feel it is the life is beautiful and it is designed and nature is giving you a new assignment when you become a mom. And when mom is like feeding and giving birth and they are changing so much in their mind and body, they cannot perform same way 9 to 5 what they were performing before. So the pattern I always observe is very clear that they start living life of somebody else and they're trying to prove somebody and trying to catch up, and sometimes they feel lost in inside there. That's what I feel.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense too. And like, especially I think in like the entrepreneurial world or like women that have their own businesses, it's like, oh yeah, well, you're only going to be successful if you hit this, 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 and this. And it's like, okay, well, maybe you can ask different questions of how a successful business is too, right? And I know that that was part of my journey as well. Is my success is measured by the way that I serve my customers. Like, are they getting value? Am I helping them with their life? Like, sure, the money makes sense and has to make sense from a business standpoint, but at the same time, like that's not my only driver here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I love that you bring that up too about like how the way that we define success as women is often based on like a default status, right? Of whatever industry we might be in, which isn't necessarily based off of a, a woman's perspective. So I love that you bring that up. And I think another piece that kind of plays into this puzzle is like this idea of work life balance. And you also mentioned the word boundaries. And so, what, tell me a little bit more about like work life balance. What do you believe instead? And why do you think that that distinction matters for families?
I think I don't believe in work-life balance, to be honest, and I've learned this hard way. When I had a kid and I was working for a company and studying here of my design program, and I felt I believe in work-life integration. It never balances, but only when you are clear to your own value and your own philosophy, because balance implies equal weights on the scale, both the side, right? So but a mother with, as I said, is a newborn, and mother with a teenager who's working in real corporate life or going for 9 to 5, it's completely a different gravitationally. So what I believe is designing your life around your season of your life. It's nature has taught us the already season, the winter, the spring, and the that is meant to be that way. Even our life and our mind and body has a season. So you have to, and that's where the mindfulness practice comes in place. It's how much you are aware about it, what is going inside you, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And the first step is always getting enough to hear this is what season actually needs right now from your life? Is it needing more nurturing? Is it needing more learning? Is it needing more evolving? So it's more about awareness, what is happening inside you. And that's why I feel that when I started as a mindfulness practitioner, it was more something profound and deeper, what I found within me, that I'm aware, oh my God, I'm taking this decision because I've been having these biases inside me. Oh, these are not my dialogues. This is not my narrative. And taking a time to slow down and really listen to your inner voice, what creator meant to do for you, and designing your life and work in that way, what works for you and your season, that is a beautiful work life integration. For example, I don't want to work 9 to 5. I want to take a Monday off after having Saturday, Sunday soccer games and back to back birthday parties with my kids. And I was telling my husband that, the parents should have a Monday official off. Because by Sunday night, I think my weekend starts. Because by Friday night and Saturday and Sunday, I'm driving for soccer mom and I'm driving for my younger one. And it's beautiful. Yeah, but it doesn't, I think it needs to be designed. So, yeah, that's how I design my business and life right now, in a way where I'm completely present on dinner table and I'm completely having a freedom to whenever I want to go for school meetings or teach art course, volunteer, or going for my hot yoga class or a gym session. It designed on what my mind and body needs at that time. It's never a balance. It's just owning your way about your season where you are and choosing that.
I love that perspective. And I think it resonates so much too, because the way that you described it, like it is so different in your newborn season of like raising an infant versus when they're
Yeah.
school age. Like, and I've got my oldest is almost 10. So I'm not quite in the teenage land yet, but I know that that's also coming and it'll be a different. And so I love that you bring that into like the seasons, right? And whether this season is something that is like maybe a couple year season or maybe it's like a temporary like 2 to 3 month season and being able to design the opportunities that you need for like your business or your occupation or your vocation, right? Like you had mentioned like volunteering and things as well. What a great way to kind of reposition that in our minds for what we actually need right now. And I want to talk about the next thing, which is mindfulness, because that you brought that up. And also something that I think we should go deeper in. But I
Okay.
know that a lot of parents hear the word mindfulness and they're like, oh, meditation cushions and quiet mornings with my coffee. And it's like, okay, well, maybe that doesn't actually work for me because I've got, 3 kids I'm trying to get out the door to school. So how do you define mindfulness in real life?
I love this question because I don't think so. Mindfulness to me is simple practice of not lying to yourself. It's
Mm,
being aware about who you are and what is happening within you. And it's most powerful and courageous thing. It's not a woo-woo or just a cushion.
yeah.
That's it. It's more about awareness and then course correct it. And when you are scrolling on your phone to avoid some feeling, that's the opposite of mindfulness. When you pause to ask, what I'm actually avoiding right now, that's a mindfulness. You don't need a cushion. You need a moment to honest contact with your own experience. Like you are sometime, I feel like I was being a mom. I was on the dinner table and or I'm driving with kid in the car and I'm listening to podcasts. Instead, I feel now mindfulness practice helps me to be so much aware and so much present with my kids and what I'm talking to them, what energy I'm bringing to them. Am I showing them hustle, hustle, hustle culture, run and struggle? Because I think giving a birth and bringing a conscious human being is such a most bigger job than anything else. Why do universe give us that for women to give a birth to a life and not to men?
Oh my gosh, that's
Right.
beautiful. And like the way that you just described it is that it can be in any of those moments, right? Like it doesn't have to be like this long drawn out thing, or you don't have to have this special candle or whatever it is. It's like, oh no, this is a connection that you have within yourself. And so one of the other things you just mentioned was that mindfulness isn't like the woo woo thing. It's like not passive, right? It's actually brave and courageous. Can you break that down for us a little bit?
So I think the because I observed in my own life because most of us are running from what we have find when we stop. We are afraid we'll discover we've been living the wrong life. That we've been saying yes and when we meant no. I was like saying yes to everything, to have my neighbors, helping 10 clients, yes, working 16 to 70 hours a day, sometimes overnight, and everything I was saying, but I realized after my half marathon and my body started reacting towards it. I was not resting. And then after doing my work, I'm behind kids. And I never had that moment to slow down for myself. And I think industry and surrounding us, mindfulness, they have made that self-care. And self-care is extremely important, but just not lighting a candle and having a bubble bath. That's not a self-care. Self-care is showing up for yourself. Self-care is listening to your inner voice, what you meant to do, and not running from it, and then correct it. Um, uh, that we have been performing love instead of feeling it. Like I feel the stillness is where all come to the life, it waits for you. Like certain practices, what I do is journaling or reflecting yourself. When I'm sleeping, I'm having more intention. How should be my day tomorrow? What is the intention of my day tomorrow? Or when I'm sleeping, we have a very small ritual in my family. We say is a gratitude time. Trust me, my kids sometimes roll eyes over that, but I still stick to it. Being teenager, I still try to practice it is because it's a value what I want to put it in it, because social media and surrounding us, we are in the fastest AI world, which is going at the speed of light. We start uh, living somebody, oh, this looks so perfect. And this is how I success look like. And that they unconsciously start living that life. And even we do it. It's so hard. I'm in a branding and marketing world, and I closely work with my clients. And she was one of the person, recent couple, last year I had that client, and she was like, Asha, I'm just running on a treadmill. And my business, like she was in a big Ford company, traveling a lot. And even the weekend she has to travel. And she said, I have hardly time to see my girls. And I really moved to from that. And we happen to become a mother and give a life. And no matter how many $1 billion you give, that childhood never comes back. The time doesn't come back. So it is very important to practice your mindfulness tool, to being present in that moment and to guide their life and show them what is really, instead of showing that struggle and grinding culture and bringing that tired and exhausted energy on the dinner table, uh, and then feeling guilt about it, because we not meant to do that. We meant to love. We meant to care. We meant to bring them to life. So I feel, to answer that question, mindfulness is courageous thing, and the tool, what practice you are doing every day to sit in stillness. It isn't meant if you don't have time to meditate. You are driving and you are meditating. You are asking your, engaging with your body senses. What are the senses happening? That's the easiest way, I think, the breathing and the observing your breathing. Am I fast breathing? Am I slow breathing? Just observing your breath or observing your body senses. It's the most superhuman intelligent machine we have. It's so perfectly designed by God. I see it, and like one nail or one nubs goes here and there, it doesn't work perfect. Like no AI, no scientist, no, I feel, can design this kind of most sophisticated design machine we have. And this is not designed to work 9 to 5. It's like, it's not a machine or engine to go, go, go. It is meant to be evolved and seasonally lived. So I feel when you do mindfulness practice, you get that ease of life. Oh, I was doing this because this culture and outside perspective and external life has conditioned me to live this way. But when you go inward, we've trained to go always external. But when you close your eyes and go inward, you see, you start listening to your guts and intuition more clearer, and you see all the answers is just within you. You don't need anything else than just completely present with yourself. So I think mindfulness tool is most powerful tool to living consciously, living present with your family, designing your life and work integration in a way which works for you. And more beautiful it is, living easily. There is always the answer within you instead of grinding and finding outside. And I get inspired from outside, but first I go within that. What is my perspective here? And giving that importance to your voice, your point of view, that is courageous thing. And standing on that, that's how you're showing your kid on the dinner table, your perspective, sharing your problem. And that's, I think it's a beautiful relationship for mindfulness. I know I went in the whole circle, but that's how I live.
Oh, that is incredible. And I think you took it one step further, which was also like we're the example for what our children can hope to become as well. Like whatever our habits are, if we're living in autopilot, are they then gonna think that autopilot is normal for their whole life? Like what we adopt as their parents while they're still within our home is a huge opportunity for them to
Uh-huh.
also learn like those healthy habits moving forward. And I know we've talked about that on other podcasts too in different contexts. So like this is one of those contexts too where this fits. Like your children are watching you all the time.
Yeah.
So adopting it for yourself is also really helping them be equipped for this later on as well. And you had talked about how we're kind of conditioned based on like
Uh-huh.
society and however we might be comparing on social media and just pressures and things like that, or even like roles, men and
Uh-huh.
women. And so one of the things that you talk about is kind of deconditioning. So what are some of the most common beliefs that parents need to unlearn, in your opinion?
Mm, very good question. I see sometime slowing down, like um when this happens, I observe it. We are passing on the speed. The children are extraordinary imitator. They imitate you. They don't learn what we teach them sometimes. They learn what we embody. And if child grows up watching a parent who is always rushing and always achieving and always performing who they are not, they learn that being is not enough. I'm not enough. I have to do more. I have to do more. And that I think that's a failure to me. uh, that rest is a failure and they carry that into their own adulthood. When we are living that life, they observe and absorb from us, and their nervous system will inherit it. I know I was doing an inner engineering program long back, and um, it was telling that our biological job of giving birth is done. And then they have to evolve with the nature and what life has meant to do it. And then our job is only one, is to show them by our, like, no, by living with them, that um, by example, leading by an example, because they are an imitator. They absorb your energy. They learn from you. Sometimes kid will exactly sit like how you sit, and they will use the word exactly how you use. Have you ever, Jessica, felt that way?
Yes.
And they want to be like wearing a mom's purse exactly like that. They are an imitator. And imagine we are bringing that energy all the time to kids, that we have to perform, we have to do more, we are not good enough. And we don't mean to do that, but unconsciously our patterns and behavior, if you observe, you will see, my gosh, this is not I want to teach my kid. But that will come to awareness only when you are reflecting your day, only when you are taking a moment. Like, simple thing, we are busy as a mom and we want to do best for everything at our work, for our client, for our business, for our husband, for our moms and dads, and for our kids. Everywhere we are playing so many roles. It is more than ever important to take care of your inner self and live mindfully, to be just yourself. That's more than enough, and practice what your values are. And reflecting, like I see this morning, every morning, what is my intention for today? What end of the day I want to stand in front of mirror and say that I had an outstanding day. So I set those intention before touching any gadgets or phone, because it's very easy. No matter how much best mindfulness or practitioner you are, but when you open the phone, all the social media and email, it is like trained with, they hire neuroscientists and psychologists to observe our behavior pattern and capture our attention. You'll not, you're scrolling for a 1 minute to find something out, but you'll not even realize your 5 minutes, 10 minutes is gone. Your 1 hour is gone, because it's intentionally, they have designed for their business is to capture our time. So it is very important to be mindful. I don't touch my phone in the morning, but I set my intention. What needs to happen? 3 things today. So that end of the day, I can say, I had outstanding day. And it's okay to be not perfect, but I share that then at the dinner time. And having the simple practices to be more present to living your life intentionally and not just on. So yeah.
Love that. And what a great example. Like I feel like for parents that are listening in, we can all think of those moments when maybe our child has imitated us in a way of like my gosh, is that what I sound like? Or I'll never forget. I'll throw in an example here, but I have my 2.5-year-old daughter. We were getting ready for Thanksgiving and we were hosting and stuff. So family was getting ready to come over, and she's like, "Mom, can I help you sweep?" Obviously, in her 2.5-year-old voice, not as like proficient as that, but she's like, "Me sweep," and I was like, "Yeah, you can sweep." And so she has this big old broom out that's probably twice the size of her, and she's like sweeping all of this, like some crumbs or something by the garbage can into a pile. And I was walking out talking on the phone to one of the family members that was coming over. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, we're on our way." And she's like, "Mom, stop." And I was like, "What? What's going on?" And she's like, "Don't step in the dirt." And I was like, "Oh, okay." That's because, I mean, we have a lot of children in our house. And so when mom sweeps, I'm like, "Guys, hold on. Don't walk through the dirt pile," right? Like, we've got to like sweep.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this little 2.5-year-old little girl with this big old broom, "Hold on, mom, don't walk in the dirt." And I'm just like, "Okay." So they really do imitate and they pick up on things, whether I've never taught her how to sweep. I've never had that conversation about walking through the dirt. So she just picks up on that. And so even more so, from the child development perspective, that 0 to 5, if you have those kiddos in that age range at home, they are little sponges. They do more about what they see versus what they hear, before it actually switches over more towards like the early elementary years. And so, oh, what a great way to kind of like set the tone for your household and your family by modeling some of those things for them. You had brought up another practice of like setting the intention for the day. And so I want to kind of extend on that a little bit. Can you share maybe one or two simple practices that parents can use daily to build more awareness? Like if we've got a lot of stuff going on, how can
Mhm.
I take a moment to be like more aware and live in the moment?
Yeah, I want to definitely go in that. Can I share? Like, you just used one word, and my intuition is like sharing this. We don't, you said word modeling, and I know your perspective was different, that it is our job how to model it. But want to take the pressure off here, that we don't want to perform or we don't want to model in front of kids. We want to be just true to ourselves and unconsciously. And we try that I want to be perfect looking, I want to be clean. But I feel imperfection is also okay. As a mom, we need to give ourselves perfection to be completely okay. And I used to do that mistake on my early age of motherhood. And I learned as being teenager's mom now, especially from my younger one is in middle school, my elder one just gone to college, and it's a whole different phase we are evolving into it. And I'm going against the empty nester philosophy, what market has conditioned all the moms in their mind. But it's beautiful phase evolving. But saying that sharing your problem and imperfection also with your kids, it's completely okay. It's actually healing. It's actually creating a space for it's okay to be imperfect, so that they feel confident to come to you and share whatever they are going through in their life. It's creating a safe space. It's the emotion are not like a switch on and off. It is more about giving the space to your kids to listen and to observe them what they are wanted. Sometimes I know girls are more expressive, but as a boy, two boys mom, I feel it is very hard to get their emotion out and understand. But just creating that space and I'm not perfect. And telling them even I'm not performing to be perfect. And then I'm giving the message that it's okay if you get little up and down on the grade. It's okay because they're going through so much peer pressure and social media and all why they feel what they're feeling it. Nobody's listening to them sometime. Busy parent work, and we have to work, right? We have responsibilities and all. We are on the phone, but there is always way to show the love and give the space. Like I know I was attending one workshop and I was asking this question that sometimes I have to take the calls off the time for my clients and help. How do I show love if I'm not talking at that time to my kid and he's pulling my pants to give attention? You see that, right? Our kids sometimes take that. And we want to be present. Unexpected sickness comes and the things, there's always change. See, by just the touch, by showing your touch and just rubbing your hand on there while you're on the phone, you can still show the love. Still show the care. And I think that's a mother most powerful tool to be present, to show them the love, to create that safe space, and not to model that mom is perfect and I expect you to be perfect. And I feel that's the most profound gift you can give your kid is time and the safe space for them to express to you. And it matters more now, I think, in teenage time. It matters to me more. I think, yeah. So that's what my point was. The mindfulness is not to be somebody else, not to model or not to, it just, for listener, whoever listening, I just wanted to, I know you didn't mean that way, but sometimes I'm passing this message to be very careful to not to give unconscious pressure on our shoulder as a mom.
Yeah, not like a fake modeling, like, oh, I have to live up to this standard, but modeling as like being an example of like owning the human
Yes.
of what you are.
Yeah.
Like showing them by living that way, versus pretending to live that way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Pretending or just pressure that I need to be, I'm not
right.
well inside
No,
and
no,
I
no,
want
no.
to
We're not
go.
talking about perfection right now. No, no. That's our toss that out
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
window. Like there's no such thing.
Yeah.
So no, I appreciate you, clarifying that as well. So just before we close up today, can you share one or two simple practices that parents can actually use daily to build awareness? So even though we've got a lot of stuff going on, what are some things that, listeners can do? Maybe I could take away today and be like, okay, this is how I'm going to be more aware or present in the moment, to really kind of start to lay the foundation for those mindfulness practices.
Yeah, definitely. I think the one of the practice comes to mind, and I use this word again and again whenever I'm working with my client, awakening. It's more about awaken what your inner voice is telling you to do it. It just simple practice is journaling for 5 minutes. That what is my intention for that day? What did I do yesterday, or what is my learning yesterday? Just simple reflection practices. Reflection is the one most important practice because that brings you to be more aware what is happening in our life. And for example, one of my client was like running a business, and she heard me on the keynote one other thing, and she came to me that mindfulness, how do I bring it in my business and life integration and in my brand? So the first step we did is brand awakening for her. Like, why you're doing what you're doing? And what is the phase of your life you are? Do you have like 10 hours, 8 hours a day to invest in this business? Or do you have a 5 hours in a business? She was at the point that she opened this mindful parenting toy brand I had shared with you, I think, and it was not working for her. And she was about to close down. And she came to me, and how do we strategize it? It's by finding your soul of the brand. And the same practice is finding connecting with your inner soul by reflecting it. What is meant to tell you? What is my job to do on this universe? What is my purpose and why I'm doing what I'm doing? Those are the simple questions we need to answer them by reflecting on the journal. And those are layers and layers. Sometimes we tell some story to our um, biases or certain dialogues, what we say it. Why we are saying certain way. It is because I want to say that, or it is because I listen from somebody else. So that's helps us to uncover layer by layer and coming closer to very true to ourselves. The most honest and truthful version to yourself you go closer to by reflecting on journal. And if you don't like journal, toss it off. Don't do it. You can just do the voice recording, reflecting outside your mind, just talking it loud, or just going in the nature walk for 5 minutes and observing the nature and observing the flowers very closely and observing those details. Those are a simple practice. Awaken your senses, the smell, the hear, the way. So, which we do in a brand and business building, mostly the first step is called brand awakening. And whoever are listening today, if they feel any connection with what we are talking, um, I do there's a 90-minute session, but I have, especially for our listener, as a gift, I'm giving the most essential question to download, and you can share that in the link. That will make them so closer and giving the mirror effect, a mirror growth. What is inside you and how can I practice? Either they can do journaling, either can do the walk, but those are the practices engaging your body with your mind and not just doing a woo way of self care. The way is doing is connecting to true inner self and listening to your inner voice and reflecting why it is saying it and what I want to change about it or what I want to carry forward to my family, to my community, to my business, and being intentional about it. That's called conscious living. And when we do not do that, by default, we start living somebody else's life, which feels suffocated, and then we feel stressed and overwhelmed. Oh my God, I'm doing so many tasks. My business is not bringing ROI. I'm feeling drained. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And that energy we bring on the dinner table with kids. And that's what my mission is. My Mindsy is mindfulness first philosophy to build brands in a way which works for you, helping women founders and conscious founders to scale from local to national and global level. Like I know that client now gave up the 9 to 5 job because she was suffocating, not able to spend time. And now she's spending more time with her kids and designing her business, which works for her lifestyle. And that is a conscious step she took, but she wanted the confidence to make that much income from her brand. So, because we have to pay bills and we have to do all the things in life. But so being intentionally strategy, we did the awakening workshop, which we do, or just we spent $1,000 she spent on me and we did the 90-minute strategy workshop, but so much actionable insight she got it. So instead of spending money on marketing and doing more and more in going in the circle and wishes, just spinning around it instead of just pausing it and taking a leverage, taking a control of your work and life in your hand and not giving in the market or industry what have they have been conditioned to do it. So I think these are the tools come in my life, and as a gift, I'm giving those certain very mini like brand awakening questions, which really will help them to get clarity and growth. To really what they meant to do and what will start bringing action to their business and life and what will they start doing and stop doing to get the life that what they designed to do it, so yeah, that's where my mind is. These are the simple practices you can do it.
Yeah, and you have the supports there too. So we'll make sure to link to all of that in the show notes as well for listeners. And I love that you brought up the different modalities as well in that. It's like, okay, find what works for you to process and reflect. Like it could be a journal that you're writing, it could be a walk in nature, it could be that you're, making a voice note or something if you want to just like talk about it out loud. So I love that you like it accounts for all of the modalities. Like the whole thing is that you just need to make sure that you have that time and
Right.
intentionality with it, and find what works best for you. So, Asha, I want to thank you so much for this conversation. Your perspective is such a grounding reminder that productivity is not the same as purpose, and that
Yes.
the way that we live matters just as much as what we build. To our listeners, mindfulness isn't just another thing to add to your to-do list. We're not trying to overwhelm you today. It's more of an invitation to pause, reflect, and choose differently so that your life, your work, and your family can actually support one another and integrate, as Asha had said. So we'll be sure to link all of the ways to connect with Asha, explore her inner prompts, learn more about her work in the show notes. If you're a business owner, be sure to check out Asha's resources as well. She had mentioned some there for you specifically for being a listener on this show today. And then remember that you're not falling behind and you're not doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect and you are allowed to design a life that feels good for you and your family. Until
Yeah.
next time, remember you're not alone and we're here with you every step of the way.
Yes.